Nothing prepares you for the death of a parent, but during lockdown, it was absolutely unbearable. My mum went in hospital in April. Obviously, with lockdown restrictions, we thought at least one of us could have gone in the ambulance with her. Hold her hand and basically just be there with her. But we couldn't go in there at all. But it was just harrowing to see the doors just close on us, not knowing whether we'd see her ever again. With her catching COVID and with the lockdown being on. But it was absolutely heartbreaking. The ambulance doors just shut. And she just looked like a lost little girl. She was a 78-year-old woman. And she just looked like a lost little girl. It was absolutely harrowing. Obviously, we couldn't go and see her at all. In the hospital, no visits. We had phone calls, things like that. It's just heartbreaking because anybody looks forward to visitors going in hospital. But especially when you're older. She was that bored, she started counting the ceiling tiles, bless her. But we had contact with her every day and things like that. So that wasn't too bad. But then she phoned me and said she was coming home on the Saturday, the following Tuesday, sorry. But this was Saturday morning. So we was quite jovial and talking about that and things like this and, getting excited for her coming home. But sadly she passed away on Wednesday morning. We got a phone call saying that we needed to get to hospital. It wasn't COVID that she died of, it was heart failure. But even so, still heartbreaking. But when we got the diagnosis, it was, like mental torture because it was like, I wanted to blame myself and I shouldn't, but you do. And you go through this process of, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Could I have done this? Could I have done that? But the answer to these questions is no. You couldn't have done anything. Sadly. But it's just the pain and the shock and the numbness that you feel. And disbelief, basically. Because we'd spoke about her coming home. Things like that. Which she was looking forward to. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about my feelings to help others because I know we don't talk about death, we don't talk about grief or grieving. It's a process, we all go through it. Everybody's different how they handle things. When I was 19, I had a nervous breakdown because my depression got that bad. I really didn't know what it was. I knew there was something wrong with me. But I just thought I'd end up in a bleeding nut house, to be honest. And I just left it so long without help. I was just ashamed. The mental illness, I was just ashamed because I thought I was mental. And at 19, it was devastating. But again, I thought asking for help was a sign of weakness, and it's not. You must ask for help. Ask for everything that's going, because you have got to talk to somebody. You've got to reach out to somebody, whether it be a family member, a total stranger. Some people find it easier to talk to total strangers than anything, which I probably could, to be honest. I couldn't talk to my family at all. At all. I was just so depressed, so low, and I kept smiling all the time, but that wasn't how I was feeling, But eventually I did get help. I was on tablets, but still the stigma stuck with me, being mentally ill. So after a few months, I stopped taking the tablets, which was probably a bad idea, but there you go. Yeah. But we need to talk about things. We need to get things going and talk about feelings and grief and grieving, and please don't be alone. I really feel for anybody that's in this situation now in this lockdown, because it has been horrendous for people, families. It's just heartbreaking that you can't see people. We haven't seen my husband's family, father, for about a year. So that's going to be quite emotional when we see each other. But going back to the death of a person, of a loved one, anybody that you lose, it's just heartbreaking. Of course it is. And it makes you question life, basically, because you think, what is it all about? My mum, she was never ill. She was always working. She was old school. She never took a tablet until she was 78, and then she started getting things wrong with the blah blah blah, and that led to being in hospital, etc. But she had arthritic hip, but she never took anything for that. She thought all doctors were quacks. She was a strong old bird, my mum. She was tough, But looking through her things, and you find little things that meant so much to her, and why does she keep that? But you can't ask them questions because they're not there. But it's lovely to see what she kept, and you want to know why, or what story was behind it. That why does she keep this and why does she keep that? But it's also quite sad, because obviously you're clearing the things out and whatever. But it was so sad to see that she'd worked all her life, basically. And all the things and all her life was just ending up in plastic bags, which is so sad to me. But we've got memories. That's what we have. That's what we have to hold on to. Because they're the thing that's going to make us get through everything. We have to celebrate their life. There's so much I want to tell her. But she's not here. She would have been a great-great-grandma in February. Which is good news. Baby coming. That's got to be good. It's a gift from Mum. It's a gift from Mum. But if anything, death teaches us is we have to celebrate life. And you've just got to grab life. If you're unhappy, what's it all about? And all that shit. But if death teaches us anything, it is we have to celebrate life. Because that's all we have. We've got memories. You've got to grab it by the balls and live it. Because life's just too short. as we know, this past year has been a load of crap. You know, it's just not been a good year at all. Lockdown for me, mixed emotions really, because yes, it's been crap, can't go anywhere, blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, it's been good for me because there's loads of live streams on, and my music has just been my therapy, to be honest. Oh, I just feel so passionate about music. And that with my family, my husband, it's got me through everything. Well, the music more than ever. Especially my bangers, because I love them. And they help, you know. They help me get rid of my headspace. And that's what I've needed. So please, if you haven't seen your loved one or family member, pick up the phone, ring them, tell them how much they mean to you. Just tell them you miss them, even if you've had a fallout. Whatever the reason, life's too short. And you should get on with it. And grab life by the balls. And live it.